What's up, guys? Jordan here from Show Me Vegas. It's Monday again, and it's time to get you caught up on what's happening this week in Las Vegas. Well, the big news this week obviously revolves around properties for sale on the Strip. No, you're not going to find them on Zillow, but there are at least two major Strip resorts up for sale right now. The most recent news involves the Mirage, where MGM Resorts CEO Bill Hornbuckle stated this week on the earnings call, the quarterly earnings call for MGM Resorts, that they are looking to sell the Mirage. Now you're probably thinking, if you pay attention to the news, wait a minute, didn't the Mirage just recently sell? Well, sort of. MGM Resorts recently entered into an agreement with Vici Properties, that's a real estate investment trust based out of New York, to sell the Mirage along with some other properties. However, that is the real estate only. MGM Resorts was still going to be leasing back the Mirage on a long-term lease, just like they've done with so many of their properties in Las Vegas. However, this time is different. MGM Resorts is actually looking to sell the operating rights of the Mirage, meaning they don't want to operate it anymore. They want to cash in on its value and no longer have that as an M-Life property on the Strip. So they are looking for a buyer. It's exactly the opposite of what just happened with the Cosmopolitan. MGM Resorts just recently purchased the operating rights for the Cosmopolitan, which probably springboarded them into this decision. They've got enough properties on the Strip, and the Mirage is going to be let go. MGM CEO mentioned that the Mirage just didn't fit in with MGM Resorts' capital plan, which tells me that they're not ready to sink any more money into an aging property. The Mirage has been around since 1989. We've stayed there a few times and the rooms are looking a little tired. Whoever does come in and buy the operating rights is probably going to look to remodel it soon, and MGM Resorts just doesn't feel like, I would guess, putting another $500 million into a Strip resort to upgrade it. Now, who might be interested in buying the Mirage? Well, the list is pretty long. Gaming analysts expect Hard Rock Entertainment to be interested, perhaps Penn National Gaming, perhaps Seminole Gaming. There is no shortage of possible suitors for the property as the economy has been rebounding. One company that definitely will not be in the market to purchase the Mirage would be Caesars Entertainment. As you might know, Caesars Entertainment has been actively looking to sell one of its Strip properties. It kind of fell by the wayside for a little while during the entire pandemic and everything, but recently Caesars Entertainment CEO Tom Reeg reiterated that they are looking to sell one of their Strip assets, and he even told his investors in his third quarter earnings call that that might happen sooner rather than later. As a matter of fact, we might expect that to begin in the first quarter or the first part of 2022. What property that is, that remains to be seen. There are rumors that it might be Planet Hollywood. I personally think Bally's would be a good one for them to divest of. But they haven't really said. They've played that close to the vest. Either way, if these things come to pass in the first part of 2022, by the end of 2022, we might have two brand new faces on the Strip. Could be name changes involved, could be remodels underway of both of those properties, which is really pretty exciting for the Strip. And a little bit of competition wouldn't hurt the Strip, as MGM Resorts and Caesars Entertainment for quite some time now have dominated the Strip. In fact, those two companies own the majority of the properties on the Las Vegas Strip. A little bit of competition might go a long ways toward spurring maybe a little bit more innovation and perhaps maybe just some more customer-friendly practices amongst the Strip properties. We can only hope. Speaking of those two third quarter earnings calls, MGM Resorts and Caesars Entertainment are in totally opposite worlds right now. MGM Resorts just announced their earnings for the third quarter of 2021. MGM Resorts' third quarter earnings were $1.4 billion compared to a $535 million loss in the same quarter of 2020. Caesars Entertainment, on the other hand, on almost the exact same revenue, still lost $233 million in the third quarter of 2021. Hey, it's better because it's better than the $926 million they lost in the same quarter last year. But it's interesting that these two companies with a similar number of properties and a similar footprint have brought in almost the exact same amount of revenue, and one of them was able to turn that into a $1.4 billion net income, while the other one, that being Caesars, turned that into a $233 million loss. I mean, I hate to choose sides here, but it seems like one is operating a little bit more efficiently than the other. Also happening in Las Vegas this past week, the Rolling Stones rocked Allegiant Stadium on Saturday night for their first concert in Las Vegas since they played at T-Mobile Arena in 2016. Some people might say the Rolling Stones aren't relevant anymore. I think you're crazy. Tell that to the slot machine makers who make the Rolling Stones slot, the one that takes a couple of Benjamins from me every single time I go to Las Vegas. Either way, it's pretty cool to see live entertainment thriving in Las Vegas, and it's also pretty cool to see Mick Jagger, who's probably been to Vegas a few times in his life, still acting like a tourist. Here's a cool picture of him at the Neon Museum on this most recent trip. Now, Mick Jagger is not going to be the only Brit in Las Vegas this month. Tourism has just opened back up to Europeans. Call it a British invasion, call it whatever you want, but European visitors are filtering back into Las Vegas. Once again, another sign of a strengthening economy and brighter days ahead for Las Vegas. That said, if you're planning on visiting Vegas anytime soon, prepare to bring your mask. That's right, the mask mandate remains in effect in Las Vegas, and it doesn't look like it's going to go away anytime soon. If it does, it's going to have to be because they moved the goalposts, not because they attained the level of COVID cases that they wanted. As a matter of fact, positive COVID cases in Clark County and in all of Nevada have started to trend back upwards ever so slightly. It's not much. However, they weren't that close to getting rid of the mask mandate to begin with. In order for that to happen, one of the metrics that has to be met is that daily COVID cases per 100,000 residents in the county has to reach 50 or below and stay there for 2 weeks. It's only gotten as low as about 90 so far, and as I mentioned, COVID cases are ticking back up. So, as I said, if they're going to get rid of the mask mandate anytime soon, they'll have to move the goalposts to do it. Hey, we've been to Vegas numerous times with a mask mandate in effect, and we still had just as good a time every time, so don't let that keep you away. So that's it for this week in Vegas. Thanks for watching again. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also hit that thumbs up and hit that notification bell so you don't miss this vlog and all of the other content we put out on the channel. Please do that. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.